Welcome to the mini lecture on the methodology paper. The methodology paper includes an abstract. Because at this point in your research proposal, you have enough information to compose a complete research proposal abstract. In this abstract, please summarize your topic by reporting the purpose, the design, the participants, the type of data analysis, and how you will collect the data. For data collection procedures, state whether it is a survey submitted through Facebook, delivered in a classroom, or handed out in person. List 4 to 7 keywords and use approximately 150 to 250 words. So writing an APA abstract is a bit different from the rest of the research paper. Instead of the first line of the paragraph being indented, it is just left justified. However, the keyword is indented and in italics. For the keywords, it is considered a list and asks you to use commas between keywords or phrases. In addition, it does not include a period at the end. The first section of your methodology paper is the introduction. Often this can be the most difficult to write, but here are two options that often connect with the way that you think about life. If you are a detail thinker, you might want to write the introduction section last, once you know what each section will entail. However, if you are a visionary thinking writing person, the introduction may give you an outline of what you want to write in the following sections. The next section of the methodology paper is the research design. Here you'll want to describe whether your research is quantitative, qualitative, and what is a subsection of that design, for example, descriptive, needs assessment, or case study. This should match your purpose statement from your introduction paper. Remember, the purpose of this quantitative study is to examine the relationship between the following variables, etc. This is typically a very short paragraph. For the research question and hypotheses section, please copy and paste from your introduction paper. If your instructor has made comments from the last paper submission, make the changes in both introduction paper and the methodology paper. Next, you will include information on your participants and sampling. See the participant and sampling setting video for more details. Following is you describe the setting. Again, see the setting video for more information. Within the instrumentation section of the methodology paper, first identify and describe the instrument that you will use to survey your participants by addressing the author, the type, purpose, and what the instrument measures. Next, describe how the instrument is used and scored. Sometimes instruments have multiple themes, concentrations, or level of severity that are all measured simultaneously. Note that also in this section. Do not include a list of the questions that you will ask. However, in paragraph form, do include a couple of sample questions so that the reader can get a good idea of the nature of the instrument. If your instrument is self-created, note that and articulate the limitations that might be present due to that fact. If the instrument is published, note the validity and reliability that is presented in the published research. The data collection section is a paragraph that describes how you plan on collecting the data. This section should closely match the methodology section of the IRB. Again, perhaps start writing the IRB first and then transfer it to this paper. In this section, you'll include when you will begin collecting data, which should be noted that it will be after you receive your IRB approval. Next, describe how you'll collect the data. This might describe how you plan on disseminating the surveys or how you will approach individuals to conduct case study interviews. Additionally, describe the procedure in such a way that someone who reads your work could duplicate your study. Next, articulate how you'll examine the data. If you are using survey research, state whether you will be downloading the data from Qualtrics, if your participants have completed your survey electronically, or that you will enter the data from paper surveys if your participants filled out paper survey. If you're interviewing individuals, you might describe that you will be transcribing the recorded interviews and will examine the transcription for themes. Also determine and report whether you have confidential or anonymous data and how you will maintain the participants' confidentiality or anonymity. Finally, describe where you will store the data, where on a password-protected computer or a locked cabinet or office. Data analysis. The data analysis section records in advance the type of descriptive or inferential statistic that you will be computing to arrive at your results next semester. The research design should match the test as seen in the table provided here. If you're conducting a qualitative research study, indicate how you will record the interviews and how you will analyze the transcriptions. Assumptions and limitations. Finally, before working on the last summary of the methodology paper, take some time to articulate the assumptions and limitations of your study. For assumptions, describe the individual or environmental issues that may be out of your control that may impact your participants' responses. Also describe the potential limitations of your data collection, the lens through which you may interpret the data. If you're conducting a qualitative study, for example, or the number of your potential sample size. So this makes up the last section of the paper.